Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you story time. This happens almost daily, but this one particular time just made me a little bit mad, and it's a bit recently. Anyways, I go to the DMV to take my driver's permit because I'm growing up. I don't want to admit it, but I'm growing up. We go to the DMV, my dad and I. He forgets something at home, so he goes and gets like my birth certificate or whatever we forgot and brings it back. And we go into the building and I'm like, well, this is it, we're gonna die. My dad comes back with whatever we forgot. We don't want to be there in the first place. This lady, we noticed she's kind of like eyeing us, but we're not saying anything because why would we say anything? We don't want to start anything. Like, I give her a half smile because I notice she's staring and I want her to know that I know she's staring. I smile at her and she gives me like a half smile and I'm like, I guess. So she comes up to us and she's like, oh hey, how are you? Like, what are we doing today? What are you here for? And I'm like, oh, I'm getting my driver's permit. And she was like, oh, that's great. Do you have a parent with you? And I'm like, yeah. My parent's right here. He's right next to me. Hello. I understand why she didn't necessarily realize my parent was my parent because I'm a little white girl and my dad is a different color than me. He's African American. I understand. This is what gets me. She asked for what I have and I'm like, okay, well, I have my social security, I have my birth certificate, etc., etc. Like, I have what I need. And she tells me, well, first of all, your social security needs to be original. And I'm like, I get it, that's not her fault, but still, it's like, the court specifically asked us when I got adopted by him and his wife, my mom, never to take the original social security card out in public, ever. Keep it at home. That's your whole identity on the line. I'm not gonna bring the original, but she's like, oh, you need a new original, and we're like, well, I guess he's gotta go back home. She also brings out our proof of address, and she's like, this is not valid enough, and we're like, wait, what? Listen, the address isn't valid enough. You need something more. It has parents of Victoria Pruitt and my address. It has like my address on another one. So like, what's the big issue? And she was like, well, I don't think they're gonna take that at the desk. And it's like, well, I think you need to shove it. But anyways, we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get our number and we're gonna go get the social security card. And she's like, wait, no, first, before you go and do that, before you get called, I need you, not me, not her, not anybody else, my dad. She needs my dad to go get his license and registration. And I'm like, why? And she's like, I need proof that's your dad. Like, listen, my dad's full name is Thomas Lawrence Pruitt. He's my dad. She's like, well, I don't know that, and I'm pretty sure the lady at the desk isn't gonna tolerate that. If I say this is my dad, then this is my dad. So he's like, this is my daughter. I adopted her. And she's like, well, that's not good enough. I don't know that for sure. I don't even know if your name is Thomas. I can just feel like, I can just feel little centipedes like crawling over me and just wanna. So my dad gets mad. He goes to the car and gets his license and registration, and I'm like looking at her and she's like, are you sure that's your dad? And it's like, if I say this is my dad, then this is my dad. He comes back, he has his license and registration. We bring it to the desk and the lady has no issues. My dad gives her his license and registration. And the lady looks at us, gives us this off look, and it's like, you didn't need to bring me this. And we're like, well, the blonde lady told us to bring it to you. And she's like, well, I'm sorry about that. You can bring it back. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't need this. The only issue she had was the social security. And we're like, yeah, we heard. But he's gonna go back and go get it while I wait. And she's like, oh, okay, that's great. All you have to do is just wait for your number to be called and you'll be fine and dandy. And we're like, well, we knew that earlier. But somebody wanted a trip. Somebody wanted to say that my dad needed his license and registration and proof that he fucking adopted me. And that's not the issue. The issue is just his social and security. Social and security. So I go and sit down and he's like, wait here. And I'm like, Dad, where would I go? And he's like, I don't know. I just don't want you to wander off or get kidnapped. Dad, I won't. It's not the issue here. I sit down and this lady's still tripping with me. And she's like, oh, are you sure that's your real dad? Like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm like, well, if you're talking biologically, that's not my dad. He adopted me. And that's not an issue. And I hate dealing with it because I already explained the situation to her before, but she's still like skeptic. And she's like, wait, but are you sure that's your dad? And I'm like, yes, for the fucking millionth time. Yes. Overall, I just don't like the DMV. I hate growing up. I don't want to do anything. No pants are the best pants. Goodbye.